I've done videos on minor thirds, major thirds, we all know fourths, and fifths tuning, but we skipped someone, diminished fifths. Okay, so the devil's chord, or tritone, isn't that pleasant, and honestly a little hard to figure out any chords for that aren't dissonant. But simply raising every other string up a half stab gives us the more palatable drop tune power chord shape, with a repeating fifth then fourth interval. It's the groundwork for a lot of colorful chords to jump off from, and over 7 strings we see the shape appear 3 times. It's technically an open tuning with just 2 notes over different octaves. I've actually done things like this before, particularly on a 5-string bass with the shape appearing twice in one of my earliest instrumentals on this channel called Smile. I could easily match the drop tuning of the baritone guitar an octave down, or use the exact same fingering over the higher 3 strings to play in unison. So how does this sort of octave key cheat fare in the realm of guitars and chords? This is Kevin from Said Too Much. The obvious place to start is how Riff's trying to use the new 3-octave power chord sound. Now for more color than our technically not even a chord power chord, we can start adding another unique note or two into the mix. In the bar shape incorporating at least 1 root and fifth in your chord, there's reasonable access to add notes from a minor second up to a major third on the remaining root strings. And reasonable access to notes from an augmented fifth to a major seventh on the remaining fifth strings. Only incorporating a fourth or diminished fifth with your normal root and fifth I found a little trickier, but you can still get a lot of colorful bar chords incorporating all strings. If you wanted even less flavor, we can do 3 or 4 note octave chords. Lead playing is pretty bizarre to wrap your head around. Once again, you have to deal with that fifth interval causing you to move out of one hand position to hit every note in a normal key, but you kinda get used to it. However, I think this tuning is more suited for rhythm playing if I'm being honest. So what do y'all think? Do you think you could navigate the fretboard in this tuning? Maybe I should have given more attention to the devil's chord. Hearing how riffs may or may not change between the different octaves I find particularly fascinating. It reminds me of the different up an octave and down an octave riff covers I've done. I love the new context the changes gave. In fact, I even challenged myself a while ago to prove even an octave up, a deathcore song could still sound heavy in the Chelsea Grin Dead Rose cover I did with my friend Darian. The tuning I used was G1 to G4, so I'm actually getting more range both above and below your traditional 7-string tuning. I'd actually consider keeping it this way if I didn't have future mods in mind. For now though, enough said. For early video access, raw instrument tracks, and more exclusives, find our community on Patreon and consider adding your support.
Said too much.